Hey guys, I want to do a short, quick little video today about getting your traps run over or crushed or smashed or squashed or whatever word you want to use for it. If that's not happened to you, it's going to happen to you. I've had 2 traps run over this year, both by farmers that were out feeding hay. They obviously didn't know my traps were there. They're rolling out round bales and they ran over my traps. Last year I think I only had 1 run over, and that was on a little kind of Forest Service road is too kind, more of a 2-track road in the National Forest along an edge where it was big forest, big timber, and then where it opened up into big fields, and the government allows people to go in there and cut some hay off of that area in the summer, and then it grows throughout the fall. So there's probably like 10 or 11 inches of high grass in there, maybe a foot high grass, and so it's a great spot to catch canines right along that edge. They run that 2-track between the big timber and that tall grass. So I always put traps there. I've never had a problem before, and last year I had somebody that was in there. And really what it was the farmer that his land backs up to the government. He was in there, I don't know what he was doing, and he ran over my trap with his dually truck. And he obviously didn't know it was there. So 3 traps in the last 2 years that I've had run over. So the question is what do you do with those things? And here's one of them that was run over earlier this year. And generally what happens is when they get run over, this is an MB550. All my traps were MB550s that got run over because that's almost all I have. But what will happen inevitably is this double base plate at the bottom will get smashed, and what happens is it bends this way and it bends this way from where this D-ring is. So it's going to be kind of bent this way. And as you can see, I've straightened this one back out. It's not exactly perfect, but the trap functions, the trap works, the trap is still strong, no big deal. The other thing that you'll have to do is, I don't even know what to call this piece, but it's this little horizontal piece that keeps the jaws together, and then it connects. It's this little, basically it's just a little lip of the D-ring, and it comes up and it connects the jaws, right? So you'll have this whole base plate which will be bent, and it'll be bent from this way and this way, like I said, and the D-ring and the middle part of the trap will still be level generally, and then this part will also be bent. So what you got to do is you got to try to straighten out this base plate as much as you possibly can, and then inevitably you'll have to bend these back as well, and you'll just have to kind of tinker with it. And honestly, the best way I have found is just to put it in a vise and use a big hammer, or you can use a sod buster, something more than just a regular claw hammer, because you need a little bit more oomph than that. And then try to straighten out this base plate as much as you can. You're never going to probably totally get it perfectly straight, but as straight as you can. And then you'll be able to tell how much you need to bend these ends up. And because you'll think, man, my jaws are all squashed. It's seldom the jaws that are squashed. It usually will bend right here. And then when the base plate gets bent back mostly level, and then these get bent back so they're basically straight up and down horizontal, or not horizontal, but perpendicular. Is that the right word? Vertical. Vertical is the word I'm looking for, vertical. When these are perfectly vertical and this is perfectly horizontal, then you'll see that your jaws will actually be back in place. Now every now and then you'll get one of these levers that's bent a little bit or is twisted a little bit. They're pretty easy. You can just take a big heavy set of pliers or vice grips. As you can see, this one's a little bent. So all I'm going to do is just bend this one back. But the trap actually functions right now. But I'm going to go ahead and bend this one back a little bit, straighten it out a little bit more. Base plate's not too bad. It's got a little bit of a bow over here and a little bit of a bow over here, but it's pretty decent. And these corner lips are pretty much vertical, so I'm good there. So I might try to bend the base plate just a itty bitty bit more, and then I'll bend this lever up, and then at that point, this trap will be good to go. Obviously, you want to test it. You want to make sure it's firing correctly and make sure it's still fast. And honestly, the best way that I have found to test it is to set it and then just stick your hand in it and see how it feels when it's on your hand. I mean, can you pull out of it? Can you do whatever with it? I'm pretty certain you're not going to be able to. And then you'll know that it's back ready to go. So I'm going to tinker with this one a little bit. I got one other trap I'm going to tinker with, and then I'll probably try to get these back on an earth anchor or drag and get them back out in the field where they belong. So don't panic. Somebody runs over one of your traps. I've only had one trap ever that I've not been able to fix, and that one was utterly, completely, amazingly squashed, and I think it was just toast. So, but generally, at least with these MBs, you can put them back in use. So if you haven't had one, don't stress if it happens. Just bend it all back in pieces, and it'll be fine.